checking in on some guys.
Wilton is day to day, Ben.
Okay, well that actually was not on my list.
Okay,
believe it or not.
I'm just checking.
Abiko.
He's out for at least this week, so we'll monitor him and see where he is.
It's a leg
but he's
injury.
not gonna go on Wednesday or Friday of this week. He has a leg injury.
Okay. Jalen didn't start the game. Is he coming back from some kind of injury or?
No, he just didn't practice all week, so he was in and out of practice during the week. So you got to go with the guys who practice.
What about Mike?
Mike's still out.
And Jabari?
Out.
Langy?
Back practicing today.
Okay. But I'm missing.
Elijah Wade?
Practicing today.
How would you say you're kind of balancing the need to win now versus putting a young team in position to succeed in the
It's
future?
got nothing to do with putting anybody in position for the future. Everything's about winning now. So everything we always do is we look at things on a daily basis, and then whatever week we're on we're in improvement week this week, and then starting Sunday we're on Colorado, and our whole focus is on Colorado. So we've never talked about we're building something for the future. We're trying to win right now, and that's if you win right now, then you are building for the future. So
What would you say are your goals for the rest of the season?
we take them on a daily basis. Our goal right now is to have a real good improvement week.
How is the team's mindset right now?
They've been really good. They had a great training session yesterday with our strength and conditioning staff, and fired up to get back out in the field today. So they were off Sunday, Monday, and they watched film and lifted yesterday. So we'll practice today. They'll lift and run tomorrow. We'll watch film, and we'll train again on Friday. So these guys they know what is ahead, and they're excited to get into league play. So
Would you describe as kind of the team's offensive identity right now?
I don't know. I've never been caught up with it. I don't have to describe anything. So I don't think I'm not writing the story. You can write the story. So.
In what ways would you say you've tailored the scheme to the personnel that you have here?
We always do that. So what are the strengths and weaknesses of the individual players that we have, and you try to actuate the strengths and then hide the weaknesses. But we've done that everywhere we've been. Sometimes you got a quarterback that's not as dynamic a runner, then you don't run the quarterback. You put him in more play action pass situations or read situations where he's going to throw RPOs and not run it. And then when you have a kid like Dorian, then you can feature him a little bit more in the run game if the defense isn't playing honest. If the defense is playing honest, then you can bring the ball off. So.
Did you feel like you did that after what got hurt?
There's not much difference between them. I think it's a big misconception that Wilton can't run. I don't know what that conception is, but you look at miles per hour, he's one of our faster guys. He runs over 20 miles an hour, so there isn't much difference between our offensive scheme when Wilton's in there and when Dorian's in there.
Would you say the tempo is where you want it to be right now?
Tempo is, I don't care about our tempo. I care about our heavy production. So again, you've talked about that narrative for a while. I don't care how fast we play or how slow we play. We're just trying to win football games. So we've never once talked about our guys that we have to play fast. I think you have to play fast when you're behind, but when you're ahead, you're not trying to play fast. So I think it depends on what situation we're in.
Looked like last game was the first time we saw Bo Calvert on defense. How do you think he did in his?
Yeah, Bo's coming along. He's one of those young players that he had a little bit of a nagging hamstring earlier in camp that kind of kept him out of a few things, and we limited him from a special team standpoint. You'll start to see him more and more, but for the first extensive action that he got on Saturday, we were pleased with him, and hopefully he'll continue to grow from where he is. But for the first time out there, it's been, we were impressed with him.
More subbing on offense in that game. It seemed like more guys were kind of shuttling in and out of the game during.
It's the same thing what we normally do.
Okay.
So we have a rotation at every position. Sometimes we don't have as much depth, so we don't rotate as much at other positions. But we've been rolling the wideouts and rolling the running backs because we have some depth there. We have 2 tight ends. You'll get Devin back this week, so you could get 3 tight ends in that rotation. You get another lineman back this week, so we may play an extra lineman or 2. So we'll see how that goes as the week goes along. So.
And Martell Irby, did he take another step forward last week?
I think Martell continues to improve. When we're impressed with him, when you evaluate him on a daily basis in our training sessions, his knowledge and what he's picked up, I think he's really, really sharp. So he's been able to handle a lot of things that maybe some true freshmen aren't able to handle, just in general. But I think that's kind of kid he is. He's really smart, so he actually can play multiple positions for us right now. But he's coming along, so we'll see how he continues to grow. He's kind of like Bob.
How important is it to get the return game going a little bit better as it is right now?
It's always critical. When you can change the flip the field, that's huge from a special team standpoint. But a lot of it is at least in the first 3 games, we've had a lot of balls kicked out of the. I don't even think in Oklahoma they're not going down, but besides that, that kid kicked it not only off the goal line, out of the end zone. You know, and the Fresno kid was kicking it in the end zone. So a lot of times, you can say, hey, we're going to get a lot of things from a kickoff return, but you can't control that. If the kid kicks it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards deep in the end zone, we're not going to take those outs.
Can you start Demetric Felton take a few reps at kickoff return?
Yeah, he's another kid that has really come along, and we're continuing to grow those guys. You know, if you don't have to play Darnay all the time, because Darnay's playing a ton of snaps on defense, if there's a way we can take a little bit of load off of him, but not have a drop off, and we feel Felton is one of those guys that has really come along and is continuing. So hopefully he'll progress not only as a returner but as a receiver also.
We saw Casimir Allen also taking these snaps during training camp. Is he kind of progressing at that?
Yeah, he's back there. You know, so it's just the trust factor right now with all those guys, and it's something that we evaluate every day. So it's not this guy is the guy now, and that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the season. It's going to be, you know, how do we continue to work? What are our training sessions? Who look good? Who continue to develop? So, you know, the depth chart from a special team standpoint or an offensive standpoint, or defensive standpoint is always kind of a flow situation for us. So.
And circle drill on the sideline during the game is just guys keeping warm.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that earlier in your career, or is this a new thing?
It's just something we've talked about doing. So trying to keep those guys fresh if they have to go in a game.
Is it for defense and special teams?
It's for everybody. Everybody that isn't participating. So if they haven't gotten X amount of reps, then the strength and conditioning guys get them up and just get them warmed up a little bit, just in case someone gets injured. They haven't been standing there for 35 minutes and haven't done anything. So.
Thanks, Coach.